what took place in the Gulf Coast Classic, no one would have imagined this would happen in the first 7 minutes of a game. It couldn't have been scripted any more crazier than what we saw firsthand with the play that was going on out there on the field. I mean, Coach Maynor said last week in the SWAC Media Day on Mondays when they normally have that call, he stated, straight up, he said, listen, if my quarterback does not play within the system, he get to playing outside himself, I will pull him immediately. Well, I'm wondering if being down 21 points wasn't fast enough. But we're going to talk about it right after this. It's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. Because they're like, Coach, where you been, man? Talk to us. What's going on? Well, I'm going to try and get through this video as best I can. Last week, I lost my dad. Phenomenal man who taught me how to lead. I'm trying to fight through a lot of different things right now to get, just keep moving forward. But we're gonna push on through this thing. So y'all just pray for Coach, man. Like I said, right now, this is my therapy. Just like it was when I first started doing this 3 years ago. This is my therapy. So just stick with me, all right? But guys, I'm sitting in the airport. I'm watching this game. And it had me confused as to what was going on. Because I'm sitting there like, okay, watching, QB1 at the time, Quincy, he played in the last 3 games. He played in the Southern game. They lost 20-10. He played in the PV game that they won. And then they played in the Tuskegee game in which they just obliterated that team out there on the field. And watching this young man out there, throw the ball up and down the field, you can tell his confidence was there. He was really feeling exactly being out there on the field, leading the Bulldogs team, up and down the field to put points on the board. But the one thing no one ever said anything about, what happened to the other quarterback that was playing out there on the field who came out here in the Jackson State game and just went off? I mean, this kid just went off. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think Langford he might have been suffering an injury in which he didn't play in those last couple of games in which we didn't see him. So I know some folks might have said, oh, wait a minute, okay, QC, he out there doing his thing. Now they put him out there on the field and, letting him showcase what he can do. I'll be honest with you guys. Looking at how this game took off in the first 7 minutes, it let me know right off the rip that this experiment that's been going on in Normal, Alabama up on the hill, that experiment needs to be blown up. Because wherever Alabama A&M is going to go as a football team, Xavier Langford is going to lead them there. Why do I say that? How in the world did this man come in the game down 21 points? It was almost like they was bringing this man into the game, letting everybody know, hey, he's telling them, hold my beer while I go out here and start throwing touchdown passes up and down the daggone field to put points on the board for Alabama A&M to, at least make this game look a little bit more respectful than what it could have turned into had, things continue to keep moving in the direction that they were going. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Casey played some phenomenal ball in the last 3 games, but we knew going into this game, playing against his former college, he's going to get out there and try to, show that he was able to compete with those guys on the level that many thought he possibly was not able to. Don't get it twisted. This young man was able to move the ball down the field, but then once they got across the 50 onto Jackson State side of the field, that's when the offense began to stagnate. And you know what? They had to punt the ball back to Jackson State. Jackson State took that ball and ran that bad boy back down the field, putting more points on the board. Now, looking at what Langford was able to do as the quarterback out there on the field for the Bulldogs in this game, this young man threw for 2 touchdowns, rushed for 2 touchdowns, rushed for a 2-point conversion, and threw a pass to one of the receivers who caught it for a 2-point conversion to put more points up on the board. Now, I know that was a lot. Coach said a mouthful on that one, but forgive me for it. But check this out. The young man on the day threw the ball 36 times, completing 21 for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Matter of fact, he rushed the ball 10 times for 42 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, what more can you ask of this young man to do? Not only that, but you had Cameron Young for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. He had 110 yards receiving and 1 touchdown as well, along with Aaron Turner caught 3 passes for 26 yards, and he had a touchdown reception as well. But you know what? You got to give credit to the Jackson State Tigers defense. Even though they allowed, 30 points in this game, for them to get out there and force the Alabama A&M Bulldogs quarterbacks into turning the ball over in the manner which they did, I mean, what more can you ask for from a defense? I mean, heck, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They got out there, they played fast and physical out there on the ball, and they made Alabama A&M turn into something that a lot of the Alabama A&M Bulldog fans didn't quite recognize. I mean, the defense forced them into 4 costly turnovers in this game. Devontae Dixon, forced fumble. B.J. Washington, Kedron Killigan, Jaheim Hazel, all had interceptions on behalf of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, throwing passes that were intercepted. Now, Jackson State running back room is something to watch as years progress on, because these young men are out there running hard and they're being physical running this ball. Watching Irv Mulligan, who's leading the way, rushing that ball for 115 times, as well as Ahmad Miller rushing the ball, I believe, for 52 yards. He had a rushing touchdown. And Jacoby Morgan had 2 rushing touchdowns himself. Now, Fabian McCray, he had 2 receptions for the Jackson State Tigers on the day for 82 yards and 1 touchdown. And Seven McGee got out there and got him a pair of touchdown receptions as well, with 29 yards receiving as well. But the one thing I'm starting to wonder, I'm like, watching play go on, I believe that Coach T.C. Taylor and the offensive coordinator, they saw that the running game was working for Jackson State in this game, and it kind of dialed back the passing in this game. But I'm still wondering on a couple of those passes, as far as decision-making, is everything okay with Jason Brown? I know he suffered an injury before, but I'm just wondering if by chance that clock, in his mind is starting to get to him a little quicker than anticipated, and not just seeing things are taking off when he needs to. But I'm sure Coach T.C. Taylor and the OC is going to have everything ready to go in this upcoming week. They play Alabama State. I'm gonna call this the Who is SWAC Bowl. I mean, both of these coaches both played in the SWAC and they did some phenomenal things. But with that slogan they took off last season, and Alabama State head coach Eddie Robinson Jr. wanted to play Jackson State so bad for their homecoming to get some get back. We're going to see exactly how things are going to go down in this game. But trust and believe, I honestly feel that Jackson State is going to have that team ready to go, as well as Alabama State is going to be ready to get after it as well in this game against Jackson State, because they have something to prove. Right now, Jackson State is behind FAMU in the SWAC East Conference with 1 loss. Alabama A&M has dropped down with 2 losses. So now we're going to see if Jackson State can continue to keep pushing forward, to keep that pressure on FAMU, let them know, hey, look, if you slip, we're going to be right there to go ahead and slide back on in this thing again. But, time will tell. But, guys, Coach going to go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.